You ever pick up an old object and just get a weird feeling from it? Like there's some kind of energy you can't quite put your finger on? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into the science and the mystery of so-called cursed objects.
All right, so first up, a strange, unseen vibe. We're going to really explore this whole idea of energy hanging around in inanimate things. And we'll look at everything, from some seriously chilling case studies to the really surprising theories that people have come up with to try and explain it all.
And really, it all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Can inanimate objects actually have a life of their own? I mean, think about it. Can a doll, or an old piece of furniture, or even just the walls of a house, can they hold on to something, well, something that feels alive?
Okay, so to really dig into this, we've got to look at a concrete example. And where better to start than with probably the most famous, or maybe I should say infamous, haunted object in the entire world. I'm talking, of course, about the Annabelle doll.
You see, the thing about the Annabelle story is how it just kept escalating. It all kicked off back in 1970. A student nurse, her name was Donna, gets this doll as a gift. Pretty normal, right? But then soon after, she and her roommate would come home and find the doll had moved. Like it was in a totally different room from where they left it. And from there, things got even weirder because these little notes, written on parchment paper, started showing up.
And the message on these notes? Just two words: help us. So incredibly chilling. But here's the really terrifying part. Nobody in that apartment even owned any parchment paper. And the handwriting? It looked just like a little kid's scrawl. So you have to ask, what in the world was going on here?
Well, when paranormal investigators finally got involved, they came to a conclusion that was just bone-chilling. They said, look, this isn't a human spirit. This isn't the ghost of some little girl. They believed it was a demonic entity that was using the doll as a conduit, pretending to be a child, with a truly horrifying end goal, to eventually possess one of the people living in the apartment.
Okay, so that's the paranormal explanation. But is a demonic spirit the only possibility? This is where things get really interesting. We're going to pivot a little bit, away from the purely supernatural, and explore this amazing intersection of energy and science and matter. And we're going to look at two big competing theories.
And believe it or not, it kind of starts with a name you'll definitely recognize: Albert Einstein. You know his famous principle, right? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. So, that makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens to all the energy in our bodies, our life force, our consciousness, when we die? Where does all that energy go?
So this question leads us down two main paths, two big schools of thought. On the one hand, you've got the classic paranormal view, that conscious spirits, ghosts, can actually attach themselves to physical objects, just like what they said about Annabelle. But then there's this other idea, the stone tape theory, which is, well, it's something different. It suggests it's more like a recording.
The stone tape theory. It's a fascinating concept. The basic idea is that physical stuff, especially natural things like stone or wood, can act like a kind of hard drive. They can absorb and record the energy from really intense emotional or traumatic events. So in this view, it's not a conscious ghost haunting a house. It's more like an energetic recording of a past event that just replays itself over and over. You ever walk into a room and it just feels heavy or sad? This theory might be why.
And if you want a really mind-bending example of this stone tape idea in action, we have to go to this tiny village in Spain back in 1971. Something absolutely inexplicable started happening on a woman named Maria Gomez's kitchen floor.
Get this. Human-looking faces started forming right there in the concrete floor. The family, totally terrified, took an axe to it, smashed the whole thing up, and poured brand new concrete. And you know what happened? The faces came back. It's just unbelievable. Eventually, investigators dug up the ground underneath the house, and they found human skeletons, centuries old, buried right there. The implication was staggering. The intense energy, maybe the trauma of those buried below, was somehow imprinting itself onto the floor above.
Okay, so whether we're talking about spirits or these weird energy imprints, the whole idea of these external forces can be, well, a little unsettling, right? But what if I told you that your own energy could be your best defense? What if it could act like a shield? Let's talk about how you can harness your own inner power.
I want you to think about your mind for a second. It is literally the most powerful supercomputer ever created, and you are the programmer. You have this incredible, unlimited potential to program your own reality. And that includes building a powerful, energetic shield to protect yourself from any negative stuff you might come across.
All right, so here's a really simple technique you can actually try. It only takes a minute. First, take your thumb and gently close your right nostril. Now just breathe forcefully through your left nostril for a few breaths. This is said to awaken the right side of your brain. That's your creativity, your confidence. Now, switch it up. Close your left nostril and breathe forcefully through your right. That's going to activate your logical, analytical side and help you push past fear.
And you know, just as important as how you start your day is how you end it. Seriously, those last 5 minutes right before you fall asleep, they are miraculous. That's the moment when your conscious mind is checking out and your subconscious is wide open, listening to everything.
So in that precious time, whatever you do, don't replay your worries or fears. Instead, do this. Visualize a bright, warm, protective field of positive energy all around you. Really see it. Try to feel it, because here's the secret. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that's real and something you vividly imagined. So by feeling powerful and feeling safe right as you drift off to sleep, you are quite literally reprogramming your entire life for strength and resilience.
So, when you get right down to it, whether these old objects are holding on to spirits, or they're playing back energetic recordings, or maybe, just maybe, they're simply reflecting the incredible power of our own minds, there's just no denying the mystery. And that brings the whole thing right back around to you. Have you ever felt it? That strange, weird, inexplicable vibe from an old object? What's your story?